Hi, everyone. Good morning and good evening. Welcome to Creator Toolbox. It's a show that we bring you from the developer program here at ServiceNow. This is the show where we try to demo new ServiceNow features and tools that is suitable for every developer's toolbox. And when we talk about developers, that's not just if your title is developer. A lot of people are creating stuff inside ServiceNow nowadays, whether you're an admin, analyst, architect, developer, or any other kind of role in ServiceNow, a lot of people are starting to build more. And so we love this show because we get a lot of experts that are very knowledgeable about our different tools, and they come onto the show to showcase, talk about the new features, compare it to the past, et cetera, et cetera. If you look over Ashley's shoulder on the top right of your video, you'll see that there's a Vancouver logo kind of etched into the top right. And that's your way of knowing that we're in the middle of our Vancouver release content. And if you want to know what other things that we're doing for Vancouver, make sure you go to devlink.sn/Vancouver to see all the different shows and different topics that we're going to be doing a nice deep dive into over the course of the next couple months. Before we jump into our content, we're going to go do some introductions and introduce ourselves. Hi, everyone. My name is Earl Duque. I am a developer advocate here at ServiceNow. I've been with the company for about 2 years now, and then before that, I was a developer at a lot of customers, mostly in higher ed. And I'll pass it over to Ashley.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Snyder. I'm a platform outbound product manager here at ServiceNow. I've been with ServiceNow for about a year and a half. Prior to joining ServiceNow, just like Earl, I was also a customer and an admin and a dev, mainly in higher ed and healthcare. And I'll go ahead and pass it to Lauren.
And a kind of similar story to the prior people. Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren McManamon. I am a former customer turned ServiceNow employee. I just had my 6th anniversary here at ServiceNow. But prior to this was part of the Creator Workflows like SC organization. So I'm a relatively new member as an advocate. And I'll kick things back off to you, Earl.
Yeah, that's actually really funny because one of the cool things about the developer program here and a lot of the outbound product managers and stuff like that is that we all were doing ServiceNow development beforehand. And so we have a good idea of the experience and the workflows that we go through and just the processes that we interact with day to day. So you are in good hands. And yeah, and so here, one of the topics, or the topic for today, is the application manager, the newly redesigned application manager. And I'll go ahead and kick it off to Ashley to talk about it.
Yeah. All right. This is a really exciting episode. Managing applications. I don't think, is the most exciting thing on the platform, but the way that we've kind of redesigned it for Vancouver, this is just a great new enhancement that we've put out. I honestly can't remember when the old application manager came out. I'm going to look to Earl or Lauren here. It's been a while.
I think it was
You mean when just typing in plugins and looking, I think that predates me actually joining the ecosystem. So I'm not even sure when it would have started.
I believe it might have just come out when I was a customer. I feel like it was new because that was when we moved towards scoped applications. So I think it was a while ago. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I think definitely over like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's been the same for a while. So I did want to cover that a little bit for those who have been on the platform or even new admins who are joining and may not be on the Vancouver release yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump into sharing my screen here. Awesome. So, if you've been on the platform for a while and you've been managing applications, you are probably used to the all applications menu. This menu really is for admin. So I want to do some level setting and kind of talk about who the application manager is for. It's really for anyone who is managing applications on the platform, installing them, installing store applications or updating applications. This is really where you come to do that. And I did want to go over just a little bit of what we're calling the classic app manager now, just so we can kind of highlight the differremember in the two.
Are you all able to see Ashley's screen?
No, I currently can't.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ashley, if you can stop the screen share and then restart it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just showing the background.
Okay, let's try.
I'm sitting there like I'm not Okay, perfect.
Whee! There we go.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So here's the classic app manager or all applications list. Like I mentioned, if you've been on the platform for a while, you're used to seeing this. This is where you go. If you're on subprod to install new apps or update them, or if you're in prod and doing a release, you'll come here to kind of do all your release things. I did want to just talk about this real quick and kind of the features that it has and you're used to. So with this, you can really go through and search for different applications by name or ID. You do have the option to really drill down and filter here. And you can go into an application itself and just see a little bit more information by clicking this down arrow. So you can see the ID, whether it's free, who published it, and kind of some information about the app, the latest version and when it was updated, its compatibility. We can even click show application details and kind of get a little bit more granular here with this modal pop up. And then within this card, I can schedule an installation. I can go ahead and install it, or I can actually jump externally to our release notes in another browser window. For any kind of sorting capabilities, if I want to see what's the latest app, I really don't have that ability here. I can sort from A to Z or Z to A. But I don't have a way to really see what's been recently released. I can come up here and I can go to this notification icon and see kind of what the app updates are and what's available to install. I can find and store. I can request a plugin from support. And if you're on Vancouver, you're going to see the option to try the new application manager. So that's just a quick tour of our classic app manager and what you're probably migrating from if you're upgrading from Utah to Vancouver, or if you're booting a new instance on Utah or a release prior to Utah, you'll see this classic app manager.
And so what from this old app manager was like the most common requests from customers to change, or like what functionality were they asking for the most?
Yeah, really just to kind of see, what applications am I licensed to? It's really hard from this one to see unless I really get down in here and drill down. What am I licensed to? What am I not using? What is the newest application or plugin that's available to me? I really just don't have a good way of seeing that at the forefront unless I do a lot of filtering and drilling down in here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and for me at least, responsiveness on this UI was always a rough experience for me.
Well, that's so much cool stuff, so it had to load a lot of it.
Well, I'm already getting bad like flashbacks to even just seeing that 2,546 results number right there.
Yeah.
Because when I was installing plugins for the hackathon for Knowledge this past year, I had to go through each instance into this app manager to try to install multiple plugins, and it would never. I would have to wait. It would first say 1,400, and I would have to wait a minute, and then it would pop up to 2,500, and then I would be able to find my plugins. That was always a fun experience.
The load time on this thing has been very slow in the past. I remember having just to walk away, or if I refreshed for some reason and it was on this page, I just knew I couldn't do anything for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
It has gotten a little bit faster. So we did do a lot of API refactoring in the background in Utah.
You did.
So this page has gotten a little bit faster, but the new app manager is going to be, you're going to see it night and day as far as how it loads applications. So I do want to get into that. Before I jump in, I kind of want to go over a few things where you can find the new app manager. One place is going to be our new admin homepage that we launched with Vancouver. So we did release an admin homepage with Admin Center in San Diego, but we redesigned it for Vancouver to give admins a lot more flexibility and control over this page. So we do have an embedded Next Experience dashboard here. This one is shared to all admins, but if you want to go through and your team wants to configure this and add things to it, you can configure these data visualizations. You can add different tabs. I know a lot of admins do stories. I know I used to when I was a customer. So you can do that. And you can even create your own dashboards and flip back and forth here. So a lot of editing capabilities. If you are, if you have questions about dashboards, definitely check the product documentation. But I did want to mention that this is brand new with Vancouver on your admin homepage.
Nice little bonus.
I know, right? I love that they embedded it here. The other landing pages that we have data visualizations on the pages themselves, so you have to go into UI Builder to do any kind of editing. So I love the inline editing capabilities that you can do here. And then scrolling down, this is really kind of where you see information about your instance. So you can see what version you're on, if you have an upgrade schedule. Here's where you can just get a quick glance at how many apps need updating that you've already installed on this particular instance. You can see how many are installed. And this is where you can jump to the new version of Application Manager. And then also, if you're looking at adoption blueprints and going through those maturity journeys, you can jump to them from here as well. And then one last thing, if you see anything that you would like ServiceNow to work on this admin homepage, any kind of enhancements that you'd like us to work on, we did put a suggestion button down here where you can share your feedback, and it goes directly to my product team. So I wanted to call that out and let you guys know that that is there for you.
Nice. Is that like a little form?
Yeah, it's a little pop-up form, and it will go directly into an email that we have set up for this.
Wow, direct feedback right in front of a dashboard.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. I think we're the first one to do it, so we'll see how it goes.
I was like, I don't think I've seen that before.
Cool. So that's one way to get to the new admin or the new app manager that we have out. The other ways, if you have been working on the platform for a while, you probably go to plugins like I do.
Yeah,
That's kind of my default, right? It's just going straight here.
I had to retrain myself on our show last week to type in the other one.
No, me too. And then the other way is if you go into applications, it's down here. So all available applications, if you go to the all menu, it'll open the new app manager. I will go ahead and say the available to obtain from store and ServiceNow products are still going to go into the classic app manager just because we haven't redesigned those yet. So if you see that difference, just know that that is by design, and the only one that we updated was the all menu. So let's go ahead and go into it.
All
Awesome.
available. That's what I need to remember. All available.
Yeah. So here we are. We're in the new application manager. So right away, you can see that it's visually different. We are using the Next Experience UI framework for this. So this has been created in our UI framework alongside some other pages that we have out there. So the look and feel already is a lot better, in my opinion. And we're just going to take a tour today and kind of go through the page and install some applications and see what we can expect from this page.
It's just so much prettier.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So let's go ahead and just look here at the top. So we do have this little breadcrumbs menu where we can, if we're in an application itself, we can kind of get back to the home page right here from the top left corner. And then we have our activity log, which I'll cover in just a little bit. If you need to or prefer for any reason, you can always switch back to the classic app manager. And then we do have the options to request a plugin from support or go into the store from here as well. And then right here in the forefront, we do have our search box. So you can search by keyword, name, or ID. If you're wondering how search works, we have a little tooltip here for you. And then also, this app manager syncs with the store once every 24 hours. So if you want to do a manual sync, you can just go ahead and refresh and it will do that sync for you. So if there is a new version that is on the store that isn't in your instance for some reason, go ahead and do that sync. And it just takes a few minutes to do. So you can just go ahead and do that refresh when you need to.
Nice.
That manual refresh was really nice.
So one big difference really with the new app manager and the classic one, right? When we were in the classic one, we had to do a bunch of filtering and sorting just to kind of navigate through and see what we needed. So we've kind of split this up into different pages or categories for you. So we have this available for you category, which is going to show all of the applications and plugins that you're licensed for. So if you see it, more than likely you're licensed to use it. I will go ahead and just say, if you have any questions about that, please contact your account rep.
Of course.
Yes.
And then we do have applications that have updates available and ones that are installed as well right here.
Hey, Ashley, can I ask real quick? Are you clicking around on your screen? Have you been clicking around on your screen?
Yes.
Okay, we see a static image of your application manager, and we haven't seen your mouse cursor since you switched to this tab.
Okay. Let me.
Technical difficulties.
I know, right? Can you see me scrolling up and down now?
No, we can't. We might need to.
Let me reshare then.
Thanks, Ashley. Sorry about the tech. Not everyone is not. The streaming software we use is sometimes finicky for our guests. So I was like, I don't think we've seen anything change on our screen for a minute. I'm going to ask.
Just to be sure. Good call.
All right. Can you see my mouse now?
We can see everything good now.
All right. Perfect. Okay. Well, hopefully we're all following along with the header.
It was all still within view.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. I'm glad that we got that working. I don't really have any other screens to switch to, so we should be good for this right now.
Perfect.
So you'll see in the available for you, like I mentioned, these should be everything that you're licensed to. And we did put everything in kind of these nice card views where you can just get a quick summary of the application that you're looking at. So we put store applications here at the top, and then you can scroll down and see family plugins. And then at the very bottom, you can see ServiceNow products. I forgot to show this, but on the classic app manager, the ServiceNow products were kind of bundled in with everything. So you would scroll and you would see kind of an application that's in green, and you could expand it and see the products from there, but it was really nested in with everything. So it wasn't really easy to tell what an application family or a product was in the classic app manager.
Here's a good question. Is there going to be a way to see what plugins are installed on a sub-prod instance, but not on production yet?
Safe harbor. We are working on some cross-instance communication features and things that we want to put out there, but right now we're doing a lot of customer research on that.
Fantastic.
All right. So if I go into updates, I can see what applications need updates. So I can tell that this is in product app. There is an update available. I can see what version I have installed and just a little bit about the application itself. And then same for installed. It will tell me if my application's up to date or if there's an update available as well. What I really like is now we have a sorting option for recently released. Besides A to Z and Z to A, and I believe we are putting some more sorting options in a future release as well. Cool. So we do have some filters. You'll notice some differences from the classic app manager between the new one. So we did a lot of research on the filters that customers were using and feedback that we got from customers. So they're not going to be like for like. We've removed some that just didn't make sense or just weren't being used a lot. So the filters here, we can filter by application, plugins, free trials, or different products. You can filter by who it's offered by. Product family, that was in the classic app manager as well. And then also adoption blueprints. So this is new. If you're following those adoption journeys with adoption blueprints and you're here in app manager, you can click on any of these and kind of see the plugins that adoption journey would recommend.
Can you define what a blueprint specifically is?
Yeah, so a blueprint is really, our internal product teams, like we have ITSM right now. It's the maturity journey that they've set out. So they have kind of 4 different stages, like basic configuration. Crawl, walk, run, fly. And they split out all the applications. So all the crawl ones, right, you'll be setting up like your CMDB and doing a few basic things for that. And then when you start to run or fly, you get a little bit more mature in your CMDB or ITSM applications, and you set up more mature plugins. So that's really what that blueprint is, to take you from where you're at in your instance all the way up to the maturity that you want to get to for that specific product suite.
Very cool. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and just jump into one of these applications. I do want to show the app detail page itself. So this is a lot different too. So I showed you in the classic app manager, really all we could do is expand that card out and see a few details. Anything that we really needed to go further on, we had to go to external resources. And this is really one of the big drivers behind redesigning application manager, is that we want to put all the things that you need for an application right in one place and not send you to external resources as much as we can. That way you have everything that you need to kind of make a decision within App Manager when you're looking at an app.
Thank you.
So from here, I can see just basic information about the app, its ID, what version it's on. I do have a summary of the application. I can see whether it's paid or not. If there is a rating for it, I can see it from here as well. I do have the option to go ahead and install it. And I do have some helpful resources that will go to external links like product documentation or store documentation that I can jump to from here. And then if we go to details, this is really where we get a lot more of that information. You can switch back and forth. This one doesn't have a different version, but if it did, you could switch back and forth between different versions and see information. So release compatibility, custom table count. That's really going to be for store apps that do have custom tables. You can see how many it may be bringing down. And if you have questions about your subscriptions and your licensing, you can ask your account rep to see if there would be any impact for your custom tables. But we go ahead and show you that up front.
As someone that worked in creator workflows sales, thank you. Thank you so much for adding the custom table counter.
We just want to give you that heads up before you install it, right? You don't want to find that out after you install the application.
Goodness, no.
So we're going to show you some key features as well, just really short descriptions of what you can expect when you install the app or plugin, and then also release notes for the specific version that you're installing. Again, these are all things that you really would have had to go to Product Docs or the store for, and really just didn't want you to have to go externally and click around. We wanted to bring that to you all in one place. And then finally, if I scroll down just a little bit more, I can see some technical detail. So I can see any kind of dependencies that this app has. I can see if there's a license required. I can see if my dependencies are already installed or not, or if they're not licensed. And I can also see what roles this app may install. So if you've worked with the classic app manager, you really didn't get to any of this information until you started to install the app. Yeah, so you had to take that click before you
modal
installed the
windows
app
and
to
mobile.
see this.
Just modal windows for days.
Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to click install. I'm going to schedule an install. So do you have this nice modal window? It's showing me which one I'm installing. It's showing me the dependencies here.
The screen share, blah blah again.
It's not showing it.
Yeah, I was like, right when you said I'm going to go ahead and schedule it, I'm like, not to us. You are.
Can you see this screen?
Well, the screen share is frozen. Wow, this hasn't happened to one of our guests in a long time.
No.
All right, let me try it one more time. Hopefully we can.
I have some strong words with our StreamYard account rep soon.
Yeah. Spicy takes.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Let me try and click on this modal. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So I went ahead and clicked install here. I can see the dependencies that I need to install or are already installed. And from here, I can actually choose to install it now or install it later.
So good.
And I can schedule that.
No more accidentally deploying in the middle of the workday versus 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So besides one of the big things for me, besides everything kind of being in one place, besides the speed of App Manager, is that you can install multiple apps at once. You can queue multiple apps at once. So, and if you've done this before, if you've seen the alert or the info message at the top in the classic App Manager, you could only install one application at a time, right? And if you tried to install another one, you got some message saying that this other app is installing, and you basically had to babysit it or come back to it later.
Yeah, especially you can even tell sometimes it would be like, oh, I think it's done because all the green bars are done on my screen, but then it's still saying, nope, can't something else is installing.
Yeah, exactly. Like you either had to keep that progress indicator up or go to like progress workers. And then sometimes that progress indicator, it would say it's done, but it really wasn't. And you had to go
Yeah.
check some logs and stuff. So it was just kind of a thing, right? It was a tedious process to kind of install multiple apps. But yeah, you can queue them up. So this is really great for anyone who's in subprod and they have multiple apps that they need to install, or if you're doing a release, right? You can go ahead and queue up your apps at different times so they install in an order. And that way you don't have to sit there and babysit them while you're doing your release. Like I know some customers do theirs at night or even on the weekends. So it would really just be great to go ahead and queue these up and then just kind of come back and check on them rather than having to watch that progress indicator go through and then wait for it so you can install it. So I'm going to go ahead and schedule this one for tomorrow. And it lets me know that I have it scheduled already. And then if I go up here to the activity log, it may take a minute for that to show. I should be able to see kind of ones that are scheduled, but we'll give that a moment to refresh. We'll go into another app in just a sec. So let's go ahead and install another app. I do want to show you guys some more details that you can see on installed apps and apps that are updated. So I'm going to go back to our main page here.
So that in progress tab will even show the scheduled ones too?
It should show the scheduled ones. And if it's not, I'll have to ask as to why. I am in an EA environment. I do want to preface that. I hope that my screen tells you right here, Vancouver EA. So some things are subject to change here as we kind of work out any defects.
Nice.
Let's go and look at an updated app and kind of poke around here and go ahead and update this application. So I'm going to go into Mobile Card Builder. And since this app's already installed, I get some different information on my app details page. So again, I get information about it. I see there's an update available. I see a summary and what version I have installed and what the latest version is. I do have some quick actions to repair or uninstall. I will mention that uninstall really is for store apps. So you're not going to be able to do it on like in-product apps. And we'll tell you down here if it can be installed or not.
Hey, Ashley, do you know if our version naming is standardized across internal teams?
That I don't. That is a good question. You can definitely find out.
Because I know industry-wide, usually that first number is major number, and then the second one is if that increments, then it's a feature enhancement within that major one. And then if the third number increments, it's a defect fix. That's usually what it I see. I wasn't sure if we have standardized that or not, because it's just an interesting, because like if I take a glance at this, seeing the two numbers, I'm like, oh, that means they fixed something but didn't add any new features if it was standardized. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, no, that's like a really interesting question. I want to dig in on that because that would be not only a great community article, but something to kind of add to here, right? Just more information that you can give me, the better, right? I want to know, I'm trying to fix the defect. I kind of want to know exactly by looking at it if this is going to fix the defect or not. So good information. I'll definitely track that down and get some information out there about it. So kind of talking about versions. So now we show you the different version details and what you can expect to see in these version details. So if I click on this one right here, the 2370, I can see information about it as far as the key features, release notes, and system requirements in this window. I can see when it was released in this window, which is great. And then I can click on the newest version that I haven't even installed yet and go ahead and see that same information as well as the compatibility, custom table count, all within this window. So I don't have to go out to store or to an external place to see the release notes and the features. I can see them right here. So I can see in this one, if this follows your theory, Earl, that we did remove something in here. We did fix something. So I'm still interested to track that down. If I go into install details, I can see more information here. So I can see the installation files. So previously in the classic app manager, you would have had to go into kind of like the application record itself and leave classic app manager to get to this information. So I can see it's all within Application Manager here. And if I need to look at any kind of installation logs or installed files or customized files, I can do it all within the application details page for the app. And I can also see when I installed it too.
Oh, it's so nice. That's so good to see, like, at a high level view, like your entire instance's history of your relationship with an application.
Yeah, and it's just a list, so you can do the searching if you need to, just like on any other classic environment list. You can kind of customize columns that are available to you. So you do have some options here as far as kind of filtering and sorting.
Very cool. I also liked on the other tab as well on version details how it said which version it's compatible with. So you can see like, oh, we got that feature back when we were on whatever version, but we're going to have to update it based off of what we're currently running or something like that, you know?
Yeah. That's a good call out.
Very cool.
We had a question. Do the release notes work in FedRAMP instances without Highwave access?
Ooh.
I don't believe they do, but I will have to circle back around on that. That's a very specific question.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But we'll make sure that we circle back around and get that information out there. And then on the update details page, right now I have nothing, but we will have something in just a sec. So these tables you had to go to, I think it was like upgrade history was the table. So again, leaving App Manager, going somewhere else to find this information. But we're going to put it right here for you. So let's go ahead and just update this app. And we'll go ahead and just install it now. So I can see that I'm going to install the latest version. And from here, now I have the option of running in the background. So in the classic App Manager, you just closed out, you were gone. But I can run in background. And then I get this nice progress indicator right here that tells me kind of what's going on. And then if I go up to activity log, it looks like my installation is pending here. So I get the progress indicator up here as well.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, and we'll show you in the activity log, we'll show you things that the installation is completed on. If there was any kind of installation errors, we'll show it to you here. And you can kind of do that sorting as well. So this one's a small app, so it should be done in just a second. So again, multiple places to kind of see that progress. And if you want that window back open, you can just hit view details and get it back open from here. But no more staring at this and walking away, honestly, which is nice.
That's really nice.
It's just so nice not having to navigate between multiple locations too.
Yeah, exactly. Just staying all within this one window.
Or like that activity log modal is available wherever we currently are looking at too. That's just nice.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't have to really go back to that main home page. You can really just kind of access it from wherever you're at.
I appreciate the main thing when I was looking at this was the fact that you keep showing off like, hey, everything that you might potentially need to have thoughts or decisions on this is available on this page if you want it to.
Yeah.
But it's always a battle with trying to include as much all the information without the screen becoming busy or cluttered or anything. But
Yeah.
the summary of your things and the higher overview things are all here in the front. And if you want to drill down, it's there, which is what I think that's really good design. Good job.
All right, so it looks like this app's installed. We can click view details and kind of go a little bit further if we want to. Looks like it just refreshes the page, but I can go into update details now, and now I can see all those change logs. So again, no longer navigating to that upgrade history page to see that. I can just see them all from right here. And then I can also see that I updated it today, which is really nice. I just know as an admin, I would want to know sometimes when was this updated, when was this installed, because I'm kind of tracking down maybe an issue that occurred, maybe there was a defect on my instance, or I just really wanted to kind of know when something changed.
Yeah.
And I put the date from here.
I would even contend that a lot of people that only did app management or plugins, updating and stuff like that aren't used to seeing update details because that's very much a interface or the upgrade table is very much associated to, oh, I'm doing upgrades, skip changes and stuff like that. But people that don't deal with upgrades and only do with the app manager side of things, this would probably be very new to them in this case. So that's cool to reveal that to them. Because yeah, you're right. Because if I think about the old one, if you install and there's an error or something, oftentimes I sat there like, well, I hope it works, and I would just move forward with my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know as an admin myself, I rarely went into the upgrade details pages unless I was doing an upgrade. So, you know, checking an app, especially a store app or something I'm doing out of an upgrade cycle, I wouldn't think to navigate there to check things. Awesome. So really, this is kind of the overview of what we have for Vancouver. So like I mentioned, we redesigned the application manager homepage to have more categories and different views and just give you more information as far as, you know, what's available to you, what updates that you have, what you have installed, and the applications detail page as well. I would like to kind of jump out of here and just share a few slides on things that are coming up, if that's all right.
Sure, we'll see how the screen works.
Let me stop this share and I'll get to another share. Let's see if I can get it pulled up.
Back to full screen. That's what's the best about having y'all on these calls is you always give us hints about, I was telling Earl this, I'm like, it's kind of a, like it's such a tease because we just got something new and I'm like, but now I want the other new thing. You know, it's like, you're never satisfied.
I know, right?
Like I just got excited for Vancouver. Now I'm all excited for Washington.
It's kind of the wild thing about being on the inside of ServiceNow on the product, seeing all the product side of things, because I'm getting emails about, hey, this is planned for the X release. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
My mind's not even close to being there yet.
No, not even close.
It's giving me some permission errors. If I go ahead and just upload these slides, will it throw them in here real quick?
I think so.
Okay, let me just do that real quick.
Yeah, I got to play with the application manager last week because for the last live coding happy hour, I had to install several public plugins.
Yeah.
And it was so quick. Like I kind of dread installing plugins sometimes just because I don't know. Sometimes the dependencies mess things up and stuff like that. But I went to store, I requested it, got entitled. Then I went back, I just tabbed back over and I pressed the refresh button and it was right there. And I was like, this is great. This is perfect.
Makes it a lot easier than the old days, right? Admins today have it good.
Heck yeah.
And I'm excited for the future too. All right, it says it's processing. If it doesn't get done soon, I'll just go ahead and speak to it. Cool. Ooh. Awesome. Yay. This is really cool. So I'm going to throw the safe harbor out there. I'm going to talk about some forward-looking things. So please don't make any purchasing decisions based upon what I'm about to tell you. So what's coming up for App Manager? You know, this Vancouver was really our first pass at redesigning the entire homepage and the details page. I think we did a really great job as a team as far as this being our first release for it. Yeah. But we do want to work on those pages too. Just some things and some feedback that we've already gotten, just to make it easier to navigate. You know, adding more categories. We've gotten some feedback on that. We kind of want to make free trials its own category, so you can just get to your free trials easily rather than having to filter. Dependency grouping. So we want to make sure that we're grouping all the dependencies that are going to be installed together, ones that are already installed, and giving you better sorting options and looking at dependencies. So an installation progress indicator. So if you guys saw, and if you've worked in the classic app manager, if you have a lot of dependencies, that thing's kind of like nested down and it's just really kind of hard to tell what's going on. We really want to streamline that and make that progress indicator a lot easier to look at and see, especially if you have a lot of dependencies that you're installing. We want to incorporate the in-instance purchase experience. So right now, if you need to purchase something from the store or another plugin, you do have to go externally, but we are looking at how to bring that into App Manager. And then, looking forward as we are exploring Gen AI across the entire platform, how do we give you intelligent app recommendations? How do we do that based on your usage, the product groups that you're already using, and even store recommendations as well? Because right now we give you a good way to kind of see all that, but you still kind of have to make those decisions or use those adoption blueprints to make those decisions. So we want to help you with that. And then finally, a redesign of My Company apps. So My Company apps are the apps that you create and promote with App Repo or Source Control. How can we work that into App Manager so you don't have to go into 2 different places? And then I do want to plug a different product coming up soon called Configuration Hub. So this is another product from my team that's coming out, Q3 store. Hopefully maybe we can do another session of this or some other kind of session where we explore it.
Yeah.
But this store app's going to let you, this is going to be the configuration part, right? So you go into App Manager, you've installed your app, now it's ready to configure. There's a lot of different places right now that you have to go to do that. In Configuration Hub, we're going to put that all in one place. We're going to have streamlined steps for you to do that. And then we even kind of have like a file explorer view. So you can see the business rules, you can see the UI policies and things like that that are related to your application. Whereas in the past, you probably had to do like a right click and go in there or even go to a tool like Studio. So exciting stuff.
And I'm trying to like zoom in on my screen because I'm trying to look at what all.
Yeah, hopefully Earl, I'm going to poke you and see if we can do another one of these and kind of explore it once it comes out. It's slated for November, Safe Harbor, but that's when it should come out. And then finally, feedback. If you have any feedback on the admin homepage, adoption blueprints, App Manager, or even Configuration Hub when it comes out, please email me so I can get that to our development teams so we can make these products better.
Amazing.
That's awesome. Ashley, you came with all these extra goodies of things like, oh, here's another thing we weren't planning to see, or we didn't know that we were going to see here, and future forward stuff. Yeah. That's always exciting for anybody that's in our platform day to day. Is there like a theme for you all to take interfaces that haven't changed in like 5-6 years and give a new interface? Is that what your team is doing? Because that's a really great thing in my opinion.
Yeah, so this team is like the admin experience team. We have teams that are focusing on workspaces and your agent experience, but this one, it's time to give the admins some love, and we want to look at all the things that admins are using and make it easier for them. So that's what this team is focused on.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited for that configuration management because right-click configure all or just looking in Studio isn't the cleanest or nice of interfaces to do those kind of things.
Exactly, and it's kind of, as we have new admins onboarding, it's an interesting thing to teach them, right? To right-click and stuff. We really just want to give them one area. I know if we've been on the platform for a while, we're just used to doing it. I'm excited to have one area to do it, but also for new admins too. So it's a lot easier for them to learn how to manage apps.
That's true. Nice, sweet. Again, if you have any links or anything that you want us to share in the show notes, Ashley, just let us know and I'll put it in the description of this video. Otherwise, again, it's the middle of Vancouver season, so we're doing a lot of stuff regarding Vancouver. So check out the Vancouver content calendar that we're putting out. This week is a lax week, but then next week we're going to kick back up with multiple shows again. And then apparently in November, we're going to have Ashley back anyways to do configuration management. So there's that, or Configuration Hub. We never do this on the show. We always forget to, but like and subscribe.
Yay!
That's the thing. Like YouTubers do that, I guess. So do that. Let us see your support. Ring the bell. Is that still a term people say? Anyways. Thank you, everybody. Ashley, Lauren, any other parting words? Cool.
Exciting times. Keep an eye out on the community too. I'm launching an admin experience product hub. It's not up yet, but it should be up. I'm trying to get it out before GA. So more articles and stuff to come your way.
Your team is moving a lot of things right now.
Yeah. Nice easy month for you and your team, huh?
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day or night.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.